Hey everyone, Ben Yunson here. Recently, I taught a number of one-on-one lessons to guitarists from all around the world, and I found it interesting that a question that was asked of me multiple times was, how do you get to know the notes on the guitar neck better? And let's face it, unlike say a piano or any number of other instruments, on a guitar you can take a note like this open high E and play the very same note at the same pitch in all of these other places on the neck as well. Discussing this topic of knowing the notes on the guitar neck in greater depth made me think back on my first professional gigs some years ago now when I was a teenager. I remember on many occasions I'd be playing through a piece of music like a jazz standard and getting stuck in the one place on the guitar neck because I knew it would work. For example, if I played here around the 5th fret, I knew that if I stuck in the one place that I wouldn't get lost. But around the same time, I realized that I didn't know the notes on the guitar neck as well as I would have liked to, and consequently it was holding back where I could take certain improvised lines on the guitar neck. Let me know in the comments down below if this is something that you've felt has held your playing back, or maybe it's something you're dealing with right now. After trying a few different approaches to try and help me get to know the notes on the guitar neck better, for example, I remember drawing a diagram of the guitar neck and physically writing down each note on each string, I was still having a lot of trouble with getting lost on the guitar neck, where I couldn't necessarily recall the notes in the lower or higher registers of the guitar neck quick enough to solo in real time. I then came across one approach which really opened up everything for me, and that's what I want to discuss with you today. Before we go any further, make sure to give this video a like so that we can push it out to as many people as possible. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any of my future playing videos, lesson videos, or discussions about music. Additionally, if you'd like to learn my approach to guitar, join me over at bensguitarclub.com, where you can pick up my guitar masterclasses and bundle packages, including the BGC bundle, which features all of my guitar masterclasses in one package. When I first became interested in trying to improvise on guitar, I started off by transcribing solos by guitar luminaries such as John Scofield, Pat Metheny, George Benson, Wes Montgomery, and so many others. As a result, I began to develop an improvisational language on the guitar neck that at that time was largely derived from the language that I'd picked up from those great guitar players. The only drawback was that at times I found myself staying around certain areas of the neck where perhaps I'd learned a phrase or an idea that I really liked. So to break out of this, I stopped thinking in positions on the guitar neck, and I started trying an approach which I'd heard a lot of great guitarists refer to in their interviews, and that was playing scales up and down single strings. I started off by just playing a chromatic scale on the high E string over a 1-octave range, a little bit like this. And as I would play the chromatic scale up and down the guitar neck like you just heard, I would make sure that I was consciously aware of which note I was playing at any given time, even speaking the note out loud if I needed to make sure that I knew where I was going. A little bit like this: E, F, F sharp or G flat, G, G sharp or A flat, A sharp or B flat, B, and so on. You could then repeat the same process on the remaining open strings. Next up, we'd have the open B string, a little bit like this: B, C, C sharp or D flat, D, D sharp or E flat, E, F, F sharp or G flat, and so on. Beyond just the chromatic scale, I found it really useful to play scales and modes up and down single strings as well. Not only did it help me get to know so many scales and modes in far greater depth on the guitar neck, it also helped me get to know the guitar neck itself much better. For example, we can just start off with a C major scale, starting from the 1st fret of the B string. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Let's take it back down again. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, And you can repeat this same exercise on the remaining 5 guitar strings, and you don't necessarily have to start from the root note C. For example, on the high E string, you could start with the note E. E is of course the 3rd degree of a C major scale, so why not just pick up the C major scale from there? E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And you can even go further up the neck if you want. E, F, G, A, B, C, D. You can follow it up as high as you want to go. And as I mentioned earlier, you can repeat this same process for all of the remaining strings. Try this approach with any scale you like. You could even take, for example, a C melodic minor scale and do the very same thing. It might sound a bit like this. C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B, and back to C. This approach really opened up the guitar neck for me, and I talk about it in a little bit of depth in my masterclass, How to Practice Volume 1. Has this been a guitar approach that has helped you in any way? This was certainly a really important approach for me during my most formative years, and I'd like to know if it's something that's helpful for you as well. Drop a comment and let me know. If you haven't already, make sure to give this video a like so that we can push it out to as many people as possible. And make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my new playing videos, lesson videos, a bit like this one, and discussions about music. Remember, it's really great to be as thorough as possible with an exercise like this. Learn it on all 6 strings with as many scales as you can think of, and it might just shed some light on how to get around the guitar neck so that you don't get stuck in just one place on the guitar neck. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.